So, welcome to Planet Organic, our usual Wednesday little food seminar here. For those of you who haven't been here before, my name is Charles Crouch. I've been a chef for 26 years now, which is a long time, long shelf life going on there. I'm also a registered holistic nutritionist. I've been doing that for 2 or 3 years now, but I've been cooking holistically at home. So what I've done is I've combined my food knowledge and my health knowledge to make the special holistic chef kind of designation. And what we do here at Planet Organic is we explore a variety of foods, always with a healthy kind of slant. Everything that we deal with tonight, you're able to buy in the store. That's the only limitation they put on what I do here. So let's get to it. This is Veggie Variations Part 3. And the thing about these shows is I like to give people alternatives to recipes that you would usually have with meat. So eating a vegetarian diet, and we're not talking about vegan here, so there are some, this is more like a lacto-ovo, if you would. But eating vegetarian doesn't mean just eating rabbit food and rice crackers. It can be, especially at this time of year, you need really good, solid, grounding foods. So tonight we have 3 of them. We got cabbage rolls, portobello bolognese pasta bake. And I call it pasta bake. It's just put a bunch of pasta in a pan, smother it with cheese, into the oven it goes. It's kind of like a cheater's way of doing lasagna. So I find that the layering process of lasagna a bit tedious. So you can get all that kind of flavor in 2 minutes instead of 20 minutes. So we got and that would be usually, it's beef bolognese is traditionally what you would get. That's spaghetti and meatballs, spaghetti sauce. And then we have Mediterranean stuffed peppers. The note that you see on the top there, this is very important for vegetarians, especially because you're getting most of your proteins from non-animal sources, so non-meat sources. That means your grains, your lentils, these kind of things. I don't recommend eating too much soy. The soy industry is really big on telling vegans and vegetarians that you have to eat soy all the time. But as we've discussed before, there are issues with soy, non-fermented soy that is. So other than tempeh and miso, I personally wouldn't eat too much because there's a lot of anti-nutrients inherent in soy. So all of the veggie variation stuff I tend to do is not soy. And so we get our proteins usually by mixing, but food combining is not necessary for every meal as long as you are eating grains and lentils and a wide variety of vegetables, because you're trying to get all of those amino acids and you need to get them from a variety of foods. You don't have to eat them with every meal and food combination, but you do need to eat them throughout the day to make sure that you're getting your protein. The big thing about the lentils and the grains is proper soaking. So the brand, there's the other thing. I am a whole food, a natural whole food omnivore. So if it's walked, crawled, swam, flown, slithered, I'll eat it. And that's because you're really diversifying your nutrient intake when you do that. If you really limit, you have to be that much more diligent on where you're getting your nutrients from, and you have to make some compensations, maybe even some supplementation. With a vegetarian diet, if you supplement a little bit of meat byproducts, so you've got your milk product or your eggs. I like stocks, so natural bone broths like beef and chicken are very, very good for vegetarians because you're getting some amino acids, you're getting some digestive aid. You like to vary things up. With the soaking of the grains, so any grain, any lentil, it's all whole food. Whole grains, none of this refined grains and none of the refined flours. You want to work with the whole grain to get all of the nutrients involved. But there are anti-nutrients in the brand of all grains. So what we want to do is soak them overnight. All you're going to do is take whatever recipe you have. So for grains, for example, whatever, say rice, your ratio is usually 2 to 1. Get your measurements out. If you're doing it the night before, put it on the counter, a little bit of apple cider vinegar in there, and then you can cook your grains in that. What that is going to do is it's going to actually pre-ferment or pre-digest your grains. It's going to break down that outer layer a little bit and get rid of a lot of those anti-nutrients so that you're getting the benefits of the whole grain. If you don't do this, you're going to get things like phytic acid, which is going to inhibit your mineral intake. You're going to get enzyme inhibitors, all sorts of little things. So that pre-soak overnight with a little bit of apple cider vinegar is kick-starting that process, and it's going to make these things very digestible. So soaking overnight, phytic acid is going to bind to iron, calcium, magnesium, and zinc, preventing their absorption. Grains, when you pre-soak your grains, you can keep the water and cook in it, because B vitamins are a very important part of that whole grain. You don't want to wash those away. So cook with the water that you soak your grains in. Lentils, on the other hand, you want to rinse. It's not as important to do your measurements, but you do want to rinse them the next morning and then cook them in fresh water, because then you're getting rid of a lot of those properties that make lentils, let's say, give you digestional indigestion or distress. You're going to wash those away and cook with fresh water. Yada yada. If you do that and you get a variety of vegetables, grains, and legumes, you're going to be a little better off. And then on top of that, with your chicken stock and whatnot. So getting to